Hey Gemini, this is your general tarot reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of August. Gemini, this is going to be a really interesting month for you. There's going to be a lot going on. It's going to be busy. You're going to be, doing lots of meetings, greetings, going places, making telephone calls, emails, everything. It's going to be full on. It's going to be kind of nice for you because I think that there's a lot of things this month that will pique your curiosity. You could be meeting new interesting people, maybe new clients or something like that. And it's just a great buzz. There's good conversation, good things to be learned, good things to be heard on the grapevine. Yeah, absolutely. Networking and getting out there. You could learn a lot of interesting facts and details that could help you in everything, in your relationships, in your work, whatever. It could be like, oh my God, I'm just hearing all the word on the street now, so I can figure out what to do, where to go, and how to make that happen. So it's a lot of activity, a lot of hustle and bustle, and I think you'll really enjoy it, really enjoy it. It could mark a time with, say, Jupiter going direct this month on August 11th in Sagittarius, where you are communicating with maybe some people that you found quite difficult before. You're kind of saying, oh, okay, let's talk it out. Let's figure it out. Let's talk it through. Let's have that conversation. And I'm going to take a kind of higher moral ground here. You know, I'll speak with you, but I don't know, I'm not going to get into an argument with you. I'm just going to, be bigger than any kind of drama maybe, or any bit of nonsense that maybe other people might bring. So that's really nice. Learning how to handle other people better too. Maybe people, as I said, that have been bothering you, people that have proven to be difficult, and maybe even people who have openly come out and challenged you. You might say, oh no, this is the month where I figure out exactly how to handle this and how to explain my side of a story, but also at the same time to be able to listen to another person's side of the story too. So that's very sweet. I like that. Now, the energy in Leo season for you is all in the third house. So that's why there's a lot of travel, a lot of movement, a lot of conversations, a lot of busy. The Sun is in Leo, Venus is in Leo, Mars is in Leo as we start the month. And then on August 1st, right as we enter the month, there's the new moon in Leo, again in the third house. Then your ruler, Mercury, moves into Leo. So it's like a great big bunch of planets, a great big bunch of energy all in one corner. And they're all in your corner, really particularly if you need to get a message across to somebody, or in work if you need to do some presentation, or if you need to do an interview. It's like if you have a message that you need to get across, or something that you need to sell, something that you need to get moving, then you've got all the energies on your side this month to make it happen. And again, I'm going back to this thing because it's a thing that I'm just feeling here. It's that very strong energy here, Gemini, of you being backed up somewhat by the universe to speak up, speak your mind, speak your truth, and don't be afraid of anybody who might be challenging you, okay? Now this is interesting because this is actually something I want to get to. Let me keep shuffling the cards. On what date is it? August 12th, sorry. Uranus is retrograding in Taurus in the 12th house. Now Uranus always wants freedom, it always wants progress, but it wants no limits, it wants pure authenticity. It's like nothing will keep me down, nothing will shut me up, nothing will hold me back. I am me. I am purely, unapologetically me. Like it or leave it. So that's Uranus energy in the 12th house. And the 12th house is where we have a lot of fears and a lot of traumas. And I think what could be cropping up for you this month, Gemini, is kind of flashes, memories just suddenly coming into your mind of the times where you were not allowed to be your authentic, wonderful Gemini self. Your kooky side, your weird side, your playful side, your curious side, expressive side, all of that is authentic to you. All of that is really, really you. When you kind of think of 400 things at once and then want to talk about them all at once and people are like, what? That's who you are. That is your true, authentic gift. As I said, that kookiness, that uniqueness, sometimes even I won't say weirdness because that's not fair. It's just your way. You know what I mean? And with Uranus retrograding, I think he's saying, look, I'm going to remind you of all the times where you were that wonderful, kind of funny person, unique person, doing your own quirky thing person, and people might have side-eyed you or kind of looked at you as if to say, what are you doing? What's that all about? How terribly immature of you. Grow up. Or how this of you. How irresponsible of you. Are you not embarrassed to behave like that? This shit, okay? This is what's been brought to mind this month. And here's what you have to do. You have to no longer run away from that. You have to no longer have any fear of being that person. And you have to really make peace with those people, maybe years ago, who side-eyed you or teased you for being that kind of free, buzzy, unique, quirky person. They shouldn't have taken that away from you. Really, they shouldn't. And really now, at this point, you shouldn't continue to allow them take it away from you. You need to go back with Uranus and reclaim that individuality, reclaim what is uniquely you, reclaim that fabulous personality that, as I keep saying, is uniquely and unapologetically you. These people that come in all heavy and say, oh, you can't be that, you can't be this, you can't be that. To hell with them. To hell with them. There's nothing mature about not being yourself. There's nothing mature about that. There's nothing mature about trying to fit in with a crowd and silence your true gift, to silence your true identity, to silence your true personality. Nothing mature about that at all. A real level of maturity, and after the eclipse last month of Saturn, Pluto in the 8th house of power, a real level of maturity and power is to go with Uranus back into those places where other people told you you were silly or ridiculous or childish or grow up, and say, step aside, you ignorant bitches, and let me reclaim my treasure. Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is the things that we treasure. And as I'm saying, your unique, unusual, quirky, funny, humorous, witty personality with no limits, with no censorship, is who you are. And it is mature of you to own that side of yourself. Unapologetically. And that is a real big driving force going on for you this month, Gemini, to get that power back. And it's interesting because this reminds me, recently I was just watching YouTube, as you do, and on my recommendations a video came up, and it was Naomi Campbell, a fellow Gemini. And I'd seen a few things with Naomi Campbell before. Maybe that's why it came up in my recommendations. And I love it. I mean, she's a fabulous model. She is probably one of, if not the best, you know, and she's there doing her thing. And I said, I'll click into this video. It was her airport routine. And I thought, airport routine, I guess this is going to be about, I don't know, what creams she uses on her face or what she eats when she's on an airplane or whatever. Well, you know. Instead, and I mean it, you have to go watch it. Instead, it was all about her. Really, her airport routine was bringing a huge big bag with her onto a first-class flight, rooting through the bag, taking a pair of plastic gloves out and some disinfectant wipes, and cleaning all of the airplane seat, all the airplane, you know, the gadgets, the screen, the window, and cleaning the seat. And then she sat down and she took out a mask, and I said, oh, I guess this mask is going to be like some face mask. No, it was, you know, a mask, an anti-pollution mask, because she couldn't bear people who sneezed and coughed on the plane. And I just thought, that is perfect. That is Gemini quirkiness at its best. And actually, it's not weird, it's not odd. The shit that she was doing is what I'd love to do if I got on a plane, to kind of clean the seats and go, ugh. I'd love to do that. And we're going into Virgo season very soon, which is all about cleaning and stuff like that, and being as fussy about things like that. And it's kind of, there she was, unapologetically being her fussy self, unapologetically making everything right the way she wanted it to be, not minding any of the people around her. In fact, one of the passengers even behind her laughed and said, you know, can you do mine too? So people were liking it, and it made her more approachable. Instead of being Naomi Campbell, don't approach me, she was actually more real and likable. And it actually forced me to kind of subscribe immediately. I said, I need to see more of this, because that is the Gemini that we love. But that is the Gemini that somewhere along the line was told that you have to hide that, you can't be that, you have to kind of keep that quiet, keep it in the background and put on some sort of other professional face. No, not anymore, not anymore. Take a tip from Naomi. And actually I wrote down a quote from that very thing, Airport Routine. It's one of her most recent ones. And she said, I love being in the air. I love being everywhere, yet nowhere at the same time. Now that is total Uranus in 12th house shit. Being everywhere and nowhere at the same time and sitting right into it and being your own unique and quirky self while you're at it. And that to me is probably one of the most powerful realizations that you might have this month, Gemini, which seems to change a lot for you, which seems to be like a game changer in how you're handling relationships and how you're handling your life, your business, everything. Unapologetically you, quirks and all, and that is how you are at your most mature. Simple as that. And I adore it, I adore it. Now, there is the full moon in Aquarius this month, August 15th. Again, Aquarius, ruled by Uranus. Again, more about independence, authenticity, being unique, kind of being in a crowd of people, yet still being able to be totally individual in there. And it's saying that's what needs to happen. And it's in the 9th house of fully understanding something, a sense of knowing, a sense of getting it, a sense of I don't need to do any more. This is enough. I understand. And what I find here for you is that whole process of whatever I'm doing, relationships, work, business, travel, anything. I'm not going to question anything anymore. I know enough now to realize that I can be an individual, a unique person, and still fit in with the crowd. And if people don't get me, if it's like years and years and years ago when I was being all funny and quirky and I got the side eye, bye, bitches, bye. You don't belong in the group anymore, and you certainly don't get to see my treasured possession. You got to think of that unique personality as a treasured possession. And what do we do with treasured possessions? Look at the Mona Lisa. She's in a museum. You have to buy tickets to get in to see her and queue for hours just to get a glimpse of it. That is how you treat a treasured possession. Treat it with respect, treat it with pride, and hold it up for people to see, but they've got to come and give it respect. That's what a priceless thing is. And that's what your uniqueness and quirkiness is. It's priceless. So it's time to retrieve that, and Uranus has decided that. Now, from the 18th onwards, all the energy is moving into Virgo. Mars, Venus, the Sun, and then your ruler on the 29th goes into Virgo, into the 4th house. And you know what this is? This is really like sitting back into yourself again and saying, I have never been as comfortable as this in a long time, because I've allowed myself, given myself permission again to release this locked down version of myself, the silenced part of me, the part of me that I was nervous to reveal. That's coming out, and I actually feel more content and peaceful inside myself because of that. So it's really beautiful, Gemini. And you're saying, okay, so how does this happen? How does this play out? Well, look, for me, I see the first half of the month is all about you getting your confidence to start communicating certain truths about yourself again, to start defending and speaking up against people who have been challenging you, as we said. Then that gives you a bit of a boost, and you go back a little bit, retrieve those missing parts of you, because now you have the bit of confidence from Leo season to do that. And slowly and surely you're starting to maybe talk to your clients or your co-workers or your bosses in a more authentic way. You can still be professional, but not hiding behind professionalism's mask. It's let it go a little bit more, be more personable. You'll find that you do better in everything you do when you add a certain personable touch to it. Say, for example, you have a travel vlog and it's all about, oh, this month we're here, and you just show pictures of where you are. Change it to be, well, this month we're here and this is me sitting by the pool. This is what I like to order for dinner. And, you know, it's about your experience in everything you're doing. That now changes the game for you, Gemini. A lot of you towards the second half of the month could be really wanting to spend a lot of private time at home, starting to come up with new plans of how to make a bit of a new code of conduct between you and other people, so that you don't, excuse me, so that you don't feel so overwhelmed by other people's emotions. Maybe this is a kind of a moment towards the end of the month where you're saying, not everybody gets to see this personable side of me. I can be soft, I can be empathetic, I can be in touch with my feelings, but I don't have to be drowned by other people's emotions, other people's feelings, other people's dramas. I can actually develop a whole safe space or a code of conduct where I can explore all parts of my emotions without kind of over merging with other people. That's another thing that might be coming up too this month. A real decision being made that you no longer want to always be merging so deeply with other people, that it's time to start respecting your energetic, emotional and psychic boundaries. So that's very, very nice. But maybe some home moves for some of you. A lot of energy going into that, and I wish you the best of luck with that if that's you. So let's get a few cards going here, Gemini, because we've talked enough. Yeah, a couple more. So they're leaping. That's good. Leaping and jumping. Interesting cards coming out. More there. Okay. Let me get just 4 more here, Gemini, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Yeah. I think it's really nice for you. I think there's it's almost like a surprising moment that happens here for you this month, Gemini, where it's kind of like, I've allowed other people's emotions far too often dictate my life. I've allowed other people's emotions far too often drain my energy, drain my resources, tell me who I shouldn't be and what I shouldn't do, and bleed me dry, giving. No, the new code of conduct, as I said, is about, I'm not going to silence my emotions. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to get smarter about how far I'll go with another person energetically or emotionally, how far I'm willing to go with them into a drama, or how much I'm prepared to give to somebody. Sometimes it's okay to switch off your phone, close your door and say, sorry, I can't help you today, or I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to you on the phone for 10 hours crying about something irrelevant today. You know, so there's a lot about that. Now, let me get those 3 last cards. That one leapt out there, balance. Then that one, okay, it did come out reversed though. And then that one, a sun and a moon and Gemini card. So Gemini, we've all the cards we need. Now let's go over to the, ta-da, that big grand overview. Now we open with a very, very feisty card, pushing. Maybe Mars in Leo in the 3rd house here, pushing you to get your business together, to get your ideas together. Some great ideas maybe even radical, because this is quite an Aquarian, Uranian card here, maybe radical new ideas coming into play here. For some of you, I also sense that there could have been something that you've been doing as a hobby, like a side thing, maybe a small thing that you were doing maybe to generate an extra bit of coin. And there seems to be a bit of shift. It's like shifting more towards this hobby or this side thing and questioning whether you should give it more time. And maybe even some of you towards the end of the month thinking, could I maybe have a home studio or a home office where I actually give more energy to this? And in some cases to the extreme, some of you could be saying, could I focus on this side thing and hobby and ditch my main job to focus on this only? It seems to be an idea that's coming in for some of you. There seems to be a lot of energy and drive behind it. For me, Gemini, it feels like pay attention to these unusual ideas or radical ideas that just pop in, because they could be real life changers. They could be really radical ideas that get the game on. Get the game on. Because I see you turning your back, certainly on last month, or maybe even what's been going on for quite some time. It's like, I'm getting my fire back. I'm getting my game on again. I'm really doing it, and I'm running with an unusual idea. It's this unusual idea that gets that spark, that buzz, that fire. I mean, this is Aquarius, a fellow air sign. The full moon is in Aquarius too this month. It's like, I know enough. I actually do know enough to go with this radical idea and run with it. Why not? Why not? It's an idea that it's like a future plan, planning for the future. And it seems to be very, very positive. And a lot of it for me, I think it's to do with work, putting a huge amount of responsible effort and action into a project. It's like I will work around the clock to make this happen, because I'm considering this like an investment in my life. I am planting the seeds and I am watching it grow. And I think you've already seen some good results from it. Again, it's like, I didn't expect this to go so well. This is just a side thing. I didn't expect that people would like it, clients would like it, that it would actually be as popular as it is. What? I need to give this more attention, because there is something brewing here. There's a magic, and you, of course, Gemini, you can sense and smell the magic brew. You're saying, I know that that's going to brew something good for me in my future. So it's like turning your head, shifting your gaze and saying, there's where my next hard work goes. And that is going to bring me reward. Now, this is nice because it's an earthy card. The second half of the month, from about August 18th, all the energy does move into Virgo. Even Venus, which is very often, sevens are very often Venusian, on 21st of August, she goes in there. And I think for many of you, it's a project, it's like a home project, it's like a pet project, maybe even working from home. That actually could be the great new plan that brings you somewhere into the future. Even for some of you, it's like something homemade, something you make with your hands. I know you're very deft with things like that. You're good with making things. But it's something you're creating, using your mind, your skills, your talents, and it is a moneymaker. But it takes a bit of work, and it takes a bit of time to develop that. And at least I feel that you're aware of that. It's like, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm prepared to give effort for that, and maybe down the line, it will build and build and build and pay off. So you've got future things on your mind. And for me, it's business. Business with a skill or a talent that you already have. And I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a home business, a home office, a home studio, maybe from home, doing something on social media, doing something on the internet, not necessarily needing an office or not necessarily having to travel and commute anymore, but to do all this shit from the comfort of your own sofa, or your own home studio. So that's really, get onto that in the second half of the month, Gemini, if that's your vibe. And really, with Gemini energy in the fourth house, it's like pull your home space apart. It's like shift the furniture, redecorate, get moving, declutter, pull everything out, create new spaces, paint, design, conceptualize, and create a great space for you to work from home if that's you. And excuse me, even if it's not working from home, the same thing still applies. Do up your home so that it has a very futuristic vibe off that. Now, I don't mean decorate your home like some science fiction house, even though if that's what you're into, fine. I mean redesign, and I don't mean spend coin. It's not about coin. It's a paintbrush and a pot of paint and a bit of moving things here, there, and everywhere, and living in a space that is more conducive to where you seem to be wanting to go in the future. As I said, even if that means designating one whole corner where you've cleared a bunch of unwanted technology or stuff or whatever, clear it all out, sell it, give it to charity, do what you have to, and make that new space yours for study, for development, for being curious, for playing, for getting that hobby going, and for getting that business going, okay? Very strong. Now, mid-month, here we see you absolutely realizing and understanding how you might have been, speaking of paint, you might have been painting yourself into a corner in many aspects of your life here. I think this is a lot to do with the ideas, realizing that you've been approaching relationships, approaching clients, approaching your career, approaching your bosses, your friends, your whole lifestyle in a way that has now become oppressive. It's like being trapped by your own personality. I know that sounds a bit weird, but it's like that thing of you've painted yourself into an ideological corner, painted yourself into a career corner. It's like you've backed yourself into a corner and there's no room for your spark. There's no room for your originality. There's no room for expressions of love, expressions of feeling, expressions of creativity. And instead it's like, how did I get to this point where I can't freaking breathe? I can't breathe. I need this space to release and be me again. Sometimes this is a lot of constriction. Sometimes we say this is a Saturn in Gemini card. And it's like being constricted, needing to work in a job that you hate, needing to be in a relationship that you're tired of, needing to be hanging around a group of people that piss you off or bore you. It's like I'm stuck. And almost also this other thing I'm saying, needing to see something fresh, read something fresh. It's like nobody has any new ideas. Well, that's not true. It's not that nobody has no new ideas. It's that you haven't been allowing yourself the freedom to be that wonderful, curious explorer of the mind, to find these new people who are out there, who have new concepts, new ideas, new designs for their life, their love, their passions, their hobbies. There are people out there with answers. Everything isn't as stale and stagnant as you think it is. And I think that's a real wake-up that's happening for you this month. And your soul is making that happen. It's like, wake up, wake up. You need to make big changes, Gemini. You need to make huge, big changes. You need to make whole changes of perception with the full moon in the 9th house. The world isn't stuck. You are. Ideas, technology isn't stuck. You are. Relationships aren't stuck, you are. The world isn't stuck. The perception of it is. So this is a real open your mind, like with a bang moment this month, where it's like, I will not tolerate being held back, trapped by friends, workers, life situations, maybe even partners, who don't allow me or encourage me to be as free or as experimental in my life as I want to be. If they're with me, great. They can come on this great big, it's almost like a clear it all and start again journey. If they're with me, they're with me. If they're not, well, I can go by myself. I can travel by myself. Something is happening. There's a great collapse of an old perception, Gemini. And that, usually when we see this card, that's gotta hurt. It's like a self-realization. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful when you realize, too, that it's not okay anymore to ignore your inner guide. It's not okay anymore to ignore your intuition. It's certainly not okay anymore to ignore your true, deep, essential part of your soul. As Uranus retrograding this month is saying, it's not okay to just be something you're not. There's no originality in that. And life will get dull, tedious and boring. So will all relationships and so will everything. You're not that. So in order to be that fresh person again in your soul, you have to release your soul. And that could mean a lot of things. That could mean having to make a decision that you just absolutely have been putting off for way too long. It's almost like, I feel I've already made a decision about this. I've already made the decision, I just haven't implemented it. Well, here's what I feel. I feel this month that the universe is coming in so strong that if you don't make a decision with whatever this big change is, the universe is going to do it for you. It's going to show you something, reveal something that was hidden to you. It's going to give you flashes of sudden understandings. It's like it's coming from a hidden place or a secret place. It might even be a person who arrives and gives you secret information, hidden information. Somebody that puts the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together and you go, why didn't I see that before? Why didn't I hear that before? Why didn't I know that before? But you did. You had just ignored it. So for me, the strong energy is you cannot ignore your soul anymore, Gemini. It seems you've already made a decision to do something, to take some big leap of faith out of that corner and into something brighter and more experimental. That's more you, and as I said, unapologetically you. So make that decision before it makes it for you, you know? Yeah. Coming towards the end of the month, you see it all gets better then, Gemini. Even though you see the tower there and not wanting to make a decision, not being kind of forthright and trusting your gut. But when you do really trust this next step for you, no matter how much energy and effort it takes, in comes the healing, in comes the sense of you being more in control of your life. I'm getting a weird feeling, Gemini, of had you felt out of control in your life, too scheduled, too organized, having too many things to do, having too many responsibilities or duties to other people, being like other people needing you and to the point where you've forgotten what you've needed. But that's what's coming down. That's what's collapsing this month. It's like I can't give all that percentage of my energy to other people and their dramas, or other people, you know, like being a personal assistant, always being on call to somebody, it's like I walk away from that. I'm not always on call to everybody. And when I realize that, I sit back at home and I take comfort and I heal and I bring a greater sense of balance back into myself and my life. What I really want to heal is this feeling of there being no bliss, no magic, no sole purpose in my life. I want that. I'm not living a kind of fake social media life. I want the real thing. I want to turn this around and get that meaning back in my life, bring the balance back. And the other thing you're also prepared to do towards the end of the month is to make a great big financial decision too, Gemini. And the decision means that for a while there's going to be a bit of budgeting, a bit of, oh, can I afford this if I move house or change business or change work? Can I afford this? Can I? I think I'll manage. It'll be tough, but I'll cope. I'll do it. It's more important to me that I'm doing something that I love for maybe at the moment less money than doing something that I hate for top dollar. It's more important. I'll manage. And even if it means I lose a few coin temporarily, here's what I want. I want to get out of this feeling. I want it, and I want it now. I don't want to be tired, pinned down by life, held back. There's a horizon over there, and I want that horizon. There's a black sky here hanging over me. I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go. I want to move. I want that freshness. I want that golden horizon that's promised to me. And if you see, he's turning his head, staring at it. And I think this is the moment where the decision is made. Gemini, big, unexpectedly when I was kind of opening the reading, big, powerful energy for you this month. It's the engine. I feel an engine. Okay, a lot of energy in the third house. Some of you may be interested in new cars and things like that, but it's like an engine. The engine is driving. The wheels are back in motion. This is me moving again. This is me driving again. But now that I'm back, I realize what power is. I realize what control is. I realize what real maturity is. It's nothing to do about putting on the professional face or having the top job. It's everything to do with knowing who I am and being that person unapologetically. And let it fall, bitch, let it fall. Anything that doesn't serve that, let it fall. Let it fall. And I am prepared for whatever comes, as I said, because authenticity is my new game plan. Gemini, I'm proud of you. I love that. I love the vibe. Now, my love, I am going to leave it at that, and I wish you all the best with all of these big changes coming. I feel great things from it. But you know that this is just the general vibe, the general atmosphere. If you want to get into the details of love, for those of you in a relationship, for the singles, if you want to know about your career and money, if you want to know about your family or your home issues or anything we didn't discuss here, come to the VIMEO readings. It's linked down there below in the description box, Gemini, and we will go into those specific corners and open them up and look so much deeper into them, and maybe it's something that you might be able to kind of get a bit of extra info from in a month where it's all about the information. Gemini, my beauty, I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to leave you with all my love and all my belief in you, and trust that you're going places, and go for it, my love. And I will give you a great big kiss for luck. Mwah. Until next month, my beauty. Bye.